presence.
Do you think we are being watched?
And certainly electronically surveilled.
An unknown number of sensors that collect visual and audio data are scattered all across this area of the desert.
How would they be monitoring us?
School of techniques called electronic support measures, which basically are sucking up just electromagnetic emanations. And we have wireless microphones on right now. We have cell phones, we have walkie-talkies. We've been blasting out all sorts of stuff, so it's very easy for them to pick up.
The F-15s make a couple of passes, but soon disappear from sight. No further activity takes place. With the base most likely aware of their presence, Mark and Pat realize they're not going to see any further flights.
It's their job to keep that place secret, so of course they're going to do what they got to do.
No one knows this better than Bob Lazar, who after years of ridicule drops out of the public eye. But the man who originally broke the story, George Knapp, is still pursuing the facts. Knapp currently works for KLAS-TV, the CBS affiliate in Las Vegas, Nevada.
George Knapp broke the Bob Lazar story. George Knapp broke the Area 51 story.
In Knapp's report from November 1989, Lazar claims to be reverse engineering extraterrestrial flying saucers at a place called S4 in the Area 51 complex. But proof of Lazar's employment at S4 and at Los Alamos National Laboratory, where he reportedly worked prior to Area 51, seems to disappear. He claims his identity is being erased, and many dismiss him as a fraud. But Knapp finds something shocking in the Los Alamos lab records.
We called the lab, they said no, he wasn't here, we don't have any record of him. And then we found the lab phone book with his name in it. I called him back, I said, well, there it is. Well, we still don't have any records.
Was the government trying to hide that Lazar had ever been working at Area 51?
So then I got the newspaper article, Los Alamos Monitor. There he is on the front page, and a picture of him with his jet car, and it lists him as a physicist. I went back to the lab. Nah, we don't have anything for him. And I know he was there, not only because of the phone book and the newspaper article, but because I've interviewed 4 or 5 people who worked with him there who said he was there working on classified projects.
With strong proof that Lazar worked at Los Alamos, Knapp believes there's credence to his claims. But one of the most bizarre is yet to come. Lazar also divulged to Knapp that while working at Area 51, he came into contact with a powerful alien energy source he called Element 115.
He speculated that it came from some other planet or some other solar system, and we're taking it apart to figure out how it works.
Lazar claims Element 115 is used to power flying saucers.
The key for me was always, did he work at Los Alamos lab? Because if he wasn't working there in a classified position in scientific and technical job capabilities, then it's at least conceivable he could have worked at a place called Area 51.
Do you believe Bob Lazar's story?
I do.
Now, a former CIA pilot is about to confirm Lazar's story and steps forward with a shocking sighting of his own.
Just a few minutes ago, we saw one of the government extraterrestrial UFOs.
In 1989, alleged government physicist Bob Lazar tells the world he's been reverse engineering extraterrestrial flying saucers at Area 51. Lazar also claims the flying saucers he worked on are powered by a strange alien energy source called Element 115. But the secrecy surrounding the base keeps anyone from verifying these claims. Stories of elite security forces keeping the curious away begin to surface. And Pat is about to see just how intimidating these defenses really are.
I'm about to meet with author Susan Wright, who wrote a book about Area 51. Now, she had a very scary experience just outside the perimeter of Area 51.
Pat and Susan are driving 125 miles north from Las Vegas. They're now at the intersection of Highway 375 and a dirt road that leads directly into the base at Groom Lake.
So what road are we on?
This is the Groom Lake Road, and this actually goes to the front entrance of Area 51.
The last time Susan was at the perimeter was in 1997. It was an experience she won't soon forget.
The military really controls this area, and they try to be very intimidating to scare people away.
So what did you experience?
Well, when we went down this road, we went all the way to the border of Area 51, and we saw the camo dudes.
Camo Dudes is the nickname given to Area 51 roving security guards who wear camouflaged uniforms.
They were blocking the road so we couldn't get in any further. And we pulled back to the next series of buttes. We got out of the car, and a helicopter just rose out of nowhere. It was like no sound, no warning. Just suddenly the helicopter was, boom, right there in front of us.
Like how close?
Like 40 feet away. We actually had to jump into the car to protect ourselves. It's very frightening, it's very intimidating, and obviously that's what they meant to do. They wanted to scare us away from the area.
Why would a military base be engaging in scare tactics towards curious civilians? The answer could lie in what they're testing. As Susan and Pat continue driving toward Area 51, Bill is uncovering new information about the purported function of Element 115 from a man who Bob Lazar confided in. His name is John Lear.
John's father invented the Learjet. John himself is an accomplished pilot. He worked for the CIA, had a very high security clearance.
Lear retired with more than 19,000 hours of flight time. He holds the most FAA airman certificates ever earned by a single pilot. But his entire life changed when he developed a close personal friendship with Bob Lazar back in the late 1980s. According to Lear, Lazar used to take him on late-night excursions to the outskirts of Area 51 to watch flying saucer tests.
You saw a flying saucer at Area 51.
No doubt about it. I saw a flying saucer. It was radiating yellow and gold. Bob Lazar told me when it was going to be there, and it was there.
In never-before-seen home video from March 22, 1989, John Lear is shown here on the perimeter of Area 51, also referred to as Groom Lake. The voice of the man holding the camera is Bob Lazar.
We're standing just about 8 miles due east of Groom Lake, Nevada, the super government secret test site. And just a few minutes ago, we saw one of the government extraterrestrial UFOs fly over there. We all watched it for about 7 or 8 minutes. The mission was organized tonight by Bob Lazar, who is a theoretical physicist who works at Groom Lake.
And is also a dead man at this point.
Lear also claims Lazar gave him detailed accounts of the work he was doing.
He was trying to back engineer the exact actual engine that propelled this craft hundreds of thousands of light years away.
Lear references a model of a